And away we go once again, and for the final time, which is emotional. I'm sure you'll agree. Hello, everybody, and a very warm welcome to The Good, the Bad, and the Rugby. It's our bonus episode with me, Alex Payne. Every week during the Autumn Nations Cup, we've been picking our teams of the weekend for Amazon Prime Video, and we're having a bit of a whip round and a roundup on this, the last of our teams of the week. Just a reminder for all you gagsters out there, this is not the main show. Please feel free to enjoy yourselves by asking the perennial question, is this the main show? We'll look forward to seeing that once again cascade through the YouTube comments. As always, though, the main show is coming up on Wednesday morning this week with Ellis, who's back from a busy month with England. Hask as well. This is merely just a little hors d'oeuvre to get you from now to then. It's a very simple show. It's Hask, Tins and I arguing our way through a 15, and then we'll give the initials of the surnames of the 15, and you have to come up with a word or phrase that satisfies our judge, who this week is Mr. Jimmy Carr. God help us all. I think it's fair to say that the filth bags among you who've submitted your entries have got a judge to match. So we'll look forward to working with Jimmy a little bit later on. Don't forget, no more rugby for the year as far as the internationals are concerned, but you can still catch Amazon Prime Video's coverage of the Premier League, including Liverpool against Spurs on Wednesday, December the 16th. And it's also the place, actually, if you haven't seen these, it is well worth tuning in. There's a brilliant documentary with Bath and England prop Benno Urbano, and he's done the work himself, which is really, really fascinating and fantastic to see. Everybody's game. Do check that out. And of course, Dan Leo's Oceans Apart, which we've spent quite a bit of time talking about as well, and has featured a lot of pickup. And we've still, as the Good, the Bad, and the Rugby, got work to do in helping Dan with his cause on that. You can also follow Prime Video Sport on YouTube, on Instagram, on Twitter and TikTok. And well done to the Amazon Prime Rugby team. The train has very much left the station and they can relax on a month. Well done, Haskell and Tins, and Bert is along for the ride as well. How's Bert?
He is absolutely delightful. I'm a little bit concerned that if he could talk, he'd be screaming because Chloe is so attached to him that she's cuddling him so much. I'm worried his eyes might come out at some point.
Sweet. I was watching Chloe's Instagram actually this week. I mean, you know, we know that Chloe loves you and is very much into petting you, but I fear there's a rival now in the dog bed.
This is exactly what, but some people are like, oh, what you're thinking? I'm like, do you know what? It's taken a little bit of pressure off me.
Good. I'm sure there'll be commercial deals following Bert Portil. Tins, how are you? It's got very dark in the background this week. Is that because there's been so much more Amazon Prime arriving that you now can't actually show your whereabouts for fear of burglars and opportunists?
I know. Fortunately, on the camera I'm recording on, it's not. But you're right; it is very dark on the screen. Actually, I don't quite understand why. I don't know why, but there you go. No, but all's been well. All well that's over. Very quiet, lovely weekend, actually. Nice. Family weekend.
We obviously spoke on Sunday because we were doing bits and bobs. How much of the rugby did you watch?
I watched the only game I missed. I missed the first half of the Fiji game.
Probably the best 40 minutes of the entire Autumn Nations Cup, to be honest with
you. Yeah, possibly. I watched the highlights, but it just shows how much Fiji were missed. I think they really would have added a great deal to people like
Nandolo.
What's the winger? I want to pronounce it right. Not Nandolo. No, not Nandolo. The other one. Tuizova. Just to see people like that playing. I think it looked like Semi Randra.
We'll pop you
Semi Randra was carrying a bit of a
pronunciations as well as Georgian
a bit of a niggle. Yeah. I borrowed your tooth there. Randra was looked like he was carrying a knock, which was a shame because it was just good to see them have a game, and it was.
He was ruled out actually of the whole tournament, but I think he's done wonders to get back. So I mean, maybe he can be forgiven. Okay, should we get into it then? Final weekend done and dusted. Team of the week. Let's go. Should we go 1 to 15? Let's mix it up. Let's throw a little flair in there. Let's go loosey goosey.
Let's do it.
First of all, Hask, as a grunter, do you want to lead us off?
Well, look, I had either Ellis Genge or Penny Ravi.
Yeah.
At number one, I thought was good. He was great in attack against Georgia. And I thought Ellis Genge obviously capitalising on the fact that Mako was injured and actually scrummed. You know, the one thing that did go well that day was a few early scrums against a tough French side.
Nice shout. Tins.
Yeah, I actually wrote Ellis down. I thought he looked very comfortable in his role, and he looked like he'd stepped up this autumn. Have I gone? you laughing because I've gone digital or something?
No. You're doing brilliant. I just love the fact we've picked off Wend at loose head. It's he did play extremely well. You can
give it to Penny. Give it to Penny Revai then.
Well, no, because then you can tell Ellis that we've not picked it. I thought Marlon did well off the bench as well.
I thought Marlon was brilliant off the bench. Genuinely, I thought he had incredible impact, like smoking people, and especially in that extra time, he really put himself about. I thought he was brilliant.
I thought if England's bench had started, they all came off. I thought Will Stewart was fantastic. Benno was brilliant. Max Malin just completely changed. Somebody wanted to run with the ball in hand.
He was unbelievable. He was honestly everywhere.
Yeah, Johnny Hill came on and started smashing people.
That's what Eddie will tell you. That's why they are finishers. That's what he wants them to do. He talks about the best 15 on the field at the end when you need it. Who do you want to go with? You guys pick.
Ellis.
Let's go with our friend.
Okay, Ellis, well done. Congratulations on your selection. Hooker.
I'm going to go with Sam Parry. I thought Cowan Dickey came on and made a massive impact as well, and obviously scored energy. But I think Sam Parry was on debut for Wales, and to get a try, I thought I'd give it to him. And his darts weren't bad either. You've always got to get your darts right. So
I was going to say, watching Wales's line out without Ken Owens was pretty shoddy. I think they gave a couple of people's opportunities, but I had Sam Parry too. I thought on debut, try, and darts. Considering, actually, we talked up the England line out up throughout the whole thing as being the only consistent Northern Hemisphere one, and that fell apart for parts of the game. So, but we'll give it to Sam, I think.
Okay, nice. Tighty?
I went with Andrew Porter again. He's obviously had a mega effort over the last kind of 6 weeks, and he's obviously started every single game, and I thought he did brilliantly. I think he's growing into that role every week.
I have got Andrew Porter also. So far, we're 3 for 3.
Yes.
I thought he carried strong. I thought he was a standout performer for Ireland. I really enjoyed his game.
Great front row analysis from two men who... second row combos, please, gentlemen. Garachi, Johnny Hill, Marrow.
Well, at 4, I probably still had Itoje in there. Don't think it was his best game. I think I could have put an Irishman in there, Ryan. And then at 5, I've got Garachi for France. Thought he was outstanding.
So you've picked 3: Garachi, Itoje. Have you gone Itoje and Garachi, not Ryan?
Yeah,
I went with Garachi and Marrow. Purely, I actually thought, interestingly, talk about Marrow and the Midas touch. There was one point where he went to turn the ball over and gave a penalty away. Got it wrong, and everyone was like, "Oh God!" I thought he cost them the game, and then trust him to be at the bottom of the ruck for the winning moment. I didn't quite get the wiggly dancing he's doing at the moment. I'm not sure that's going to be patented. I know I'm eternally jealous of Marrow. A, because he's good looking. B, he's a better player. C, he's got a load of cash, way more cash, and sort of I think D, he has his own chant. But I think the dance is probably a step too far, if anything. And again, that might just be the green jealousy dragon speaking, but.
Back row, 6, 7, 8.
I thought that Justin Tipperick deserved a mention, but he was announced as Autumn Nations Cup Player of the Series, and it was Tom Curry. I thought is growing and maturing, and perhaps when I interviewed him after the game, and in his own words, it's sort of just eradicating any little errors and just capitalising and building on. I thought he was, just a machine around the field.
So I went Wookie at 6, just love the name, and I thought he played well. Amani at 7, and Falatau at 8.
Okay, interesting.
But a shout out to Doris, because I thought Doris did all right too.
I thought Doris did play
and
well.
So did Billy. So
give me your 6, 7, 8, Hask.
Okay, I had special mentions to Tipperick, but I had Tom Curry, Peter Amani at 7, and I know Kane and Doris got another man in the match, but. Billy V, who has broken both of his forearms multiple times, was absolutely melting people. And while the rest of the game might not be good across the board, he defensively stood up for England more than anyone else. So I went with him, but I'm happy to be talked down just because I was honestly astounded by how hard he went.
I thought Billy was sensational. So we have got split. So Omani is in at 7. Did you see the filthy look he gave when his try was chalked off?
Ridiculous.
It's proper sort of Roy Keane, Fergie time, influencing decisions without. So we've got to pick a 6 between Woki and Curry. I think Cameron Woki was brilliant, but I think Tom Curry was sensational throughout. And actually, there was, when you mentioned Marrow, who by his standards possibly, has had better games during him, but in that last 10 minutes of the game and in extra time, I thought was sensational. And Curry just found another gear as well. So we'll go Curry at 6. Faletau Vunipola.
It's great to see Toby Faletau back at that level and playing at that level.
I think it was Billy's best game for ages. And actually, if you plot his graph this autumn, it's so good to see him back rampaging. If it was a Lions test tomorrow, who would you go with at 8? Faletau or Vunipola?
I'd go with Billy. I don't
know. I don't know, to be honest. I'm not sat quite where you guys are with Billy. I thought he defended like Haskell. I thought he defended well the weekend, but I thought he got stuck on his bit as well when he carried. But that's not Billy's fault. I think that's the way England are playing off too slow a ball. The week before against Wales, where he was on quick ball, no one stopped him. So I think it'd be close. If Faletau can perform, be back and play at that level and get a lot of games in the bag, then it'll be a tight call.
Heads for Billy, tails for Faletau. Task.
Right. Heads.
It is heads. Billy's in. 9.
Gareth Davis.
Oh, nice, off the bench.
I've gone Kieran Hardy in the first half. Got us try.
Okay. You can pick a Welshie. Who do you want? You can argue. I thought Conor Murray played a really tidy game for Ireland. Good
he played a Conor Murray game. It was just tidy and tight, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I was giving it to Kieran Hardy.
Okay, let's go Kieran Hardy.
He was on debut, wasn't he?
Yeah, I like that. Kieran Hardy, well done to you, sir. 10.
Jalibert.
Yeah, hard to argue against Jalibert.
He did play well, but I went for Ben Volavola. That little grubber he put through for Nadolo to get his hat-trick was just beautiful. He played well all day, but I have got no qualms about Jalibert. You think of everyone talks about Entermac, and then he's just waiting in the wings, and he makes it look easy as well. So France are blessed in that position right now.
I do think Volavola deserves a proper shout because Fiji have been searching for it. I know he's been there for a while, but for a 10 for so long. And if he can keep that form up, that's great for them. Let's go Jalibert because I love that, just the French in the name. And a J in our game is great value as well. 11, no debate over 11.
Well, a little shout out to Keith Earls getting a double. Again, brace, but, I think Nadola, being in international exile for two years, comes back, boom, hat-trick. Thanks.
Do you know what someone said?
2 years, 2 years retirement, 2 years isolation, and then 2 weeks isolation, and then in he goes.
I love his try-scoring action as well. It's like diving into a pool. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think it's a very important. Yeah. It's a very important and very underrated part of the game. But the try-scoring slide is something that can make a good try a great try. John Timu, 1991, Canada, never bettered. Centres.
North. I struggle with this. I don't know. I just couldn't think.
Okay. Jonathan Davis, 12, tidy performance.
Yeah, it was between Davis and T, so it was a D either way for me. And then I went again. My man crush continues on Zanon for Italy. Scored again. It. I think he's been brilliant.
Robbie Henshaw, George North.
No,
Zanon. Haskell, checked out Haskell.
I did have Henshaw, but if Tins goes to Zanon, we'll go with that.
Tins, you can have that. 14. Gabin Villiers.
Two is over. That offload inside was just incredible.
Yeah.
He runs so hard. He's just pure muscle with wheels and a full aggression. It's quite terrifying.
Did you play against Tuisova?
I have done, yeah. But every time he came, I was always on the other side of the ruck, or sometimes across the other side of the field.
Or running the other way.
Yeah, or going things like that. Your man, and I was like I was up
with
there
a goose step. The thing I love about Fiji is not only do they play, but they make you play as well. We have as a tournament, we have missed their presence in this tournament. Yeah. Let's go Nandolo and Tuisova as your 11 and your 14 and 15. Dulin.
100%.
Yeah.
Bryce Dulin, yes.
Yeah, I thought Hoggy, he made that nice break, and he did all right. He did as much as he could do, but I'd have to give it to Dulin again.
Stockdale, late shout.
Yeah, it wasn't far off, but I think Dulin's all-round game was better at the weekend.
So this week, ladies and gents, your letters are GPPGI, pig, CO for Omani, not M, O for Omani, Vunapola V, HJNDZTD. And you can have, once again, your 5 vowels, aeiou. GPPGICOVHJNDZTD. I think that's a pretty good side, actually. We'll get that mocked up and stuck on the channels. Right, talking of trying to judge what the mess we were given last week, let's bring in Jimmy Carr.
Yeah!
He's even put on a Christmas jumper. Or is that just general knitwear?
That's just general knitwear, my friend. I'm dripping in swag.
Oh,
dripping in swag.
That is how. Where are you? You look sort of. It looks like a hotel foyer, or is this Carr Towers?
That's Carr Towers, baby.
That's where
I've been there, and it is extensive. It's like you can imagine like Tracy Island, but in the middle of London. Like things open up, revolving, things come out. It's unbelievable. Bar an actual Thunderbird coming out. It's extensive.
It was. I would say it's big enough to have Haskell in it and not feel intimidated.
Right.
Wow. I mean, if you're drinking your own urine, you've got medical problems.
I have.
How are you, Dr. Carr? What's happening in your world at the moment?
I mean, nothing. I'm fully locked down because I don't know. Like comedy gigs are going to be the last thing that comes back.
True. No one's in the mood to laugh.
Where
are they?
This is the rainy day I've been saving for.
and what I imagine like Scrooge McDuck. You've done a lot of saving, like a lot of saving.
Yeah, it's good. So I'm judging something.
You
here.
are.
Is it rugby? I always thought there was a point system. I'm not au fait with the full system, but yeah, sure.
We've got you making some adjudications on specific laws at rugby around the breakdown. So if you could share your knowledge on your breakdown law.
Yeah, no problem at all.
So lots of bum slaps and ass tickles.
I'm standing in for Susie Dent, right?
Yeah.
How tough could it be?
Yeah. wait until you see. Susie, I have to say, managed to make, and this is 3 turds doing a podcast. She managed to sprinkle some glitter. It's now probably 3 turds plus a guest turd as well. So you're very, very welcome. There aren't a lot of rules to this game, but I'm going to quickly whip you through what it is that we do. Essentially, we pick a 15 and then we give everyone the first letter of each surname. So you get 15 letters and the 5 vowels, and you have to come up with as good a word or phrase or saying or sentence. Am I losing you already?
No one's criticizing you. Right?
No. Okay.
We're saying, look, rugby is the second most boring sport after cricket, but you're not the most boring sport. You're not cricket.
Yeah.
It strikes me this game would be better suited to cricket because it is anything where you go, you take the first letter and then, really?
Yeah.
Jimmy, I said this the first episode. I said, Alex, take your idea and fuck off. And he didn't. And he's made a game out of it, and he's dragged poor Susie Dent into it, and now he's dragged Jimmy Carr.
No, Tin's dragged Jimmy Carr into it.
Listen, I'm prepared to play your game. I'm happy to play.
Okay.
I will adjudicate. Absolutely fine. But let's take 5 minutes to think of a better game to play. There's got to be a better game.
It's the last show in the series, sadly. So any good games that you could come up with, we'll roll into the next event. And we're absolutely desperate for some sort of inspiration.
Sure. Why is it the last show? Because rugby's finished?
Yeah, rugby's finished and we're not far behind it. It's, in the words of Alan Partridge, we haven't got...
Who won rugby out of interest?
Who won rugby?
England. But Jimmy, as host of the 2015 England farewell dinner, surely you've been a great fan of the game off the back of that, haven't you? That was a tournament that went well off the back of your induction to the game.
No, I like James because he looks like the Hulk.
Yeah.
That's about as far as my interest goes.
And Jimmy, we did do the Just Eats awards dinner together, which was another high. And so Alex, when you're giving
still got the money somewhere.
When when you're giving Jimmy shit about turning up, he will literally do anything, swiftly followed by me doing anything.
Yeah.
Oh, no, award ceremonies. Come on, there's no shame in turning up. It's it's whatever your thing is. I've always thought there's a real divide between team sport people and individual sport people.
Yeah.
Like what you're into, and it says quite a lot about you.
Yes.
I think essentially nicer people play team sports. I couldn't give a fuck about team sports.
Perfect. Wait, can we quickly ask, why was Haskell at your house? Was this a legitimate thing, or has he done that turning up thing and won't go away?
No, like a party at ours.
Oh, it's party you did invite him?
Party. Yeah, he's fun. He's a lot of fun. Honestly, if you get him off the topic of rugby, he's a lot of fun.
Trust me, this is a rugby show, and we can't get him onto the subject of rugby, so we're very much equal in that regard.
Okay, all right. So England are the best team. Who's the best rugby player at the moment? Who's the best living player?
The best looking player or the actual best player?
The best player. Who's the best player?
Maro Itoje.
Through this autumn, Maro Itoje would be up there, with the special shout out to Bryce Dulin in the last 2 weeks.
Okay, that's a good answer. I feel like I've got something out of coming on this then. Okay, so they're the GOATs.
Yes.
And the greatest of all time? Who's the greatest of all time? Who's the Floyd Mayweather of this sport?
Jonah Lomu.
Oh wow, both of you, Jonah, 100%.
Jonah Lomu. Did he resonate? Cross paths? Ever come across him?
I've heard of the dude. He seems pretty legendary. Yeah, it's a weird thing when someone goes like beyond their sport. You know that weird thing of like you would have no interest in the sport, but you've heard of that dude.
He was that man. He transcended the sport in a way that not many others, and certainly the two on this call, haven't quite managed to do.
I've never done.
I once had to do a team talk for a rugby team in Australia, which was an odd experience. Russell Crowe.
I can imagine you went down very well with an Aussie rugby team.
I had literally no notice. It was Russell Crowe's team, and I had to give a little team talk. So I talked about sportsmen that transcended their sport, that are bigger than their sport.
You did a team talk for the South Sydney Rabbitohs.
Yeah.
Oh my God!
Sorry. Russell's done this to a couple of people. Russell brought me along and said, "Yeah, I want you to meet some of the guys. They're really good guys. Come and meet them." And we'd been out for lunch or something. And then he gave a team talk, and then went, "Jimmy, you'll give a team talk." He did the same thing to Chris Rock. We're like going, "What? What are we doing?"
And where did it go from there?
Well, I sort of ad-libbed about like sportsmen that are bigger than their sport. So I just named Mike Tyson. You hardly remember the boxing.
Yeah.
It was literally, it was textbook the worst talk anyone's ever given to anyone.
And how did the team perform off the back of these inspiring pearls?
I mean, I don't know if they performed particularly well, but they're a great little team. They're a really nice little firm.
Should we play the game? This is a lot more fun, actually, just chatting with you about your pearls of sport.
Let's play a terrible idea for a game.
Okay, well, let's quickly do it because I think we're contractually obliged in this, the last of our shows. 15 letters plus your vowels. D, T, K, S, V, B, L, V, U, M, G, L, S, M, V, plus your A, your E, your I, your O, and your U. Those are your vowels. So what we're going to...
You know you're the boring one, right?
Yes, that's what I'm paid to do. Yeah. I literally am here to deliver boredom.
James is sort of the loose cannon. Yeah. Tindall's like holding it all together, and you're sort of the nerd. Yeah.
But you're not a long-term subscriber, because that you've hit the nail on the head.
But a lot of nerds, Jimmy, they gain cult status. I mean, look at Stato.
If this is Ghostbusters, James Haskell is Bill Murray, and you're kind of you're the guy with the clipboard.
Yeah. No one knows. Rick Moranis.
Old call.
Everyone remembers Rick Moranis.
Thank
you for joining. It's been lovely to have you on so far. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read out the what people have come up with. And Jimmy, actually, have you got them? Has the producer sent them through to you or not?
Just read them out to me.
All right, okay.
I'm not.
So,
really, you're busy right now.
Not hugely. No. So Dave Armstrong has come up with Mako's
blue eyes, but nothing to say. This guy.
No.
Sorry, did I say that out loud?
Yeah, you did, and it's all right. This is what I am here for. I make Tins and Hass look good, and that does take some doing. Dave Armstrong came up with Mako's evil lugs, which was what he pulled out of the 20 words he had. Will you give that a mark out of 10? Let's say.
No, I'm going to hear them all. Mako's
evil lugs was Dave Armstrong. Right. We've then got Angus Dewar, which is quite a name, who said there were no Scots in last week's team, and therefore he's come up with Kilt's Mausoleum. And actually, mausoleum, that's a strong word. We've got to points for that.
Yeah, Kilt's Mausoleum, strong.
Angus had very little to do this week, so he's come up with a second option, which says James's camera makes him look like he has an absolute mug's lid.
Okay.
Very observant.
Connor Gips, who wanted a shout out on the bin juice. Hask, will you give Jimmy a quick introduction to bin juice?
Yeah, so Jimmy, bin juice is basically the people in life who are integral but never get the opportunity to shine. They're like the backroom staff. Without them, everything falls apart. They're like the bread and butter. They're like the key. They'll probably make people make you look good, but they'll never be Jimmy Carr. But they're there helping you. But without them, you wouldn't be who you are.
So basically, everyone who opens for you, who never makes stardom, the ones who go and do every single festival, every single show, and they're always a warm-up act, but never take that next level.
And you call them bin juice.
Yeah.
Because I had friends I was at school with that went and worked on the bins. They worked on, and it was just bin juice was just bin juice. They had another great term. This is very Susie Dent, but the best term I ever heard of my mates that are binmen was disco rice. Is what binmen call maggots.
I like that. There's life in there.
Got some disco rice in the bottom of that. Oh, disgusting.
That is revolting.
Okay, so absolute mugs lead is winning so far. Let's hear 4 and 5.
Connor Gips, whose name alone gets him in the running. His bin juice one was dugout immovables. It's a sort of layered thing because Hask has a great love of the bin juice. So dugout immovables, I think, is quite a strong one from Connor Gips. Anthony Overton has come up with slags like mud. Ellis Hulton may well win this, who has said Payne, Haskell and Tins are lovable studs.
Oh, lovable studs, isn't it?
Alex, I came up with one, but I don't know if it's correct because I'm not sure I wrote the letters down properly. But I had. They're just shapes to you, aren't they, James? They are like with a big hammer, just trying to write on a piece of paper. Yeah. I came up with something called slum vag slut. I thought it was quite good.
Good, yeah. Slum vag.
Slags like mud is good. Absolute mugs lid that's nice, isn't it? Yeah. For a man that's just had a hair transplant, I feel like that's a strong.
Have you had one done?
Yeah, I had one done in lockdown. I had a full kind of thing.
You look absolutely incredible on it.
Why, thank you. I'm only like 6 months in. I had the whole thing. As soon as the first lockdown ended, I went, right, I'm not working for a year. I'm having the redistribution of hair, just like 4,000 from there, plonked on the front.
Pulled up from the arse, was it?
That would be thicker. That would be more lustrous, I feel.
That'd be like Stavros.
I fear it maybe that ship has sailed for you, isn't it? I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Well, that thing of like trying to hide it as well is like, oh, really?
Yeah. You've got to commit. You've got to commit. Once you're in, you're in.
100%.
Have we found a winner?
Next,
have we found a winner?
Saving up for this reduction. I think I'd look nice with one. I think lovable studs, because that seems to be what this show is all about, isn't it?
I think so. I mean, it's yeah. A lot of people would say that we are dugout immovables instead. But yeah, let's backpack. It's Christmas.
Listen, you're the expert here. That's the one that seems to be a fault. Who came up with that one?
That went to Ellis Hulton. You've won £100, which you're very welcome to spend at Amazon.
Here's a weird fact for the podcast. James Haskell and I share a physio, which is a remarkable thing. I think he must think when he treats me and then treats you, he's working with different species. He must just go, well, I can't believe he charges me the same as you, because it's got to be a lot easier to work on me.
What are you having done?
It's just other.
What are you having done? What are you being rebuilt, or are you working out?
I'm just like I'm like a guy that didn't do any sports at school and then got into it later. So I just little tweaks and twinges and things. He's good. Like he's a brilliant physio.
What happens is,
but then
Alex, is he accidentally carries his wallet out and doesn't have his bloke carrying it for him, and it goes one side and he puts his back out. So he comes in with Kevin. He's like, "You've been carrying your wallet around again, hasn't he?" So he has to put it on the table.
No, I tried to lift this goddamn thing together.
It's awkward. It's awkward
when fire a cannon from a canoe.
When you've got no muscle, things do go wrong. So it's all good.
Yeah, that's the issue. That's the so hang on. So you don't play rugby. You never played rugby. So what's going on here?
Me, I'm the work experience kid that sort of just
show him your
out,
tooth. Let him think you play rugby at least.
What have you done?
It was from hanging with these two idiots. Does your man down in Portsmouth deal with dentures as well?
You think I don't have a tooth, guy?
It's not a good.
Do you have at least a story? Do you have a story of how you lost it? How did you lose it?
I knocked it out in 1999 surfing on the west coast of America. Had it popped back in. It gave me 21 years, and then I had it taken out in March because it had no more
Oh, okay. So I think the better story than that is if anyone else, just go, yeah, you should see her.
Yes. Jimmy, very sadly, you've got far better things to be doing, I'm being told. Will you come back and have a proper chat with us at some point?
I'd love someone to explain rugby to me like properly. At some point, I'll come and do that. I mean, both Mike and James need to find something that they can do and achieve sporting-wise. Because, I mean, he tried, as I say, cage fighting for 4 minutes.
Jimmy, let's be clear. Tindall just married into the royal family, so he doesn't need to. We don't need to worry about him. He's gone better than all of us.
Oh yeah, yeah. Famously, the royal family have a lot of. They've got such busy days. No, it's
yeah. I've got stuff to do. I tried to do DJing after the speaking, a bit of comedy, written a book. I've got enough stuff on. Following you around, waiting for the next invite to your party by the door the whole time.
Wait a second. So you've written a book.
I've actually written 4 books, but my current book's out, and it's a Times bestseller. If you're a Sunday Times bestseller.
So you've written 3 more books than you've read.
This is true. And none of them required colouring in. Jimmy, because you haven't been working for a while, and no doubt your material's dried up. If you get my new book, it's described as the funniest sports book you'll ever read. There's probably a few stories in there you can spin a yarn. But the problem is, don't make out that you've done anything physical, because no one will believe you on stage. But if you were like, oh,
so hang on. So wait a second. So what's the book called?
It's called What a Flanker, based on the fact that what a wanker, essentially.
I think he got
it. But I don't think you did.
I thought you were going to actually explain.
Talking a comedian.
Yeah, I thought you were actually going to explain the flanker side of it, because he was probably going, well, what's a flanker? It's a position James played in rugby.
No, Jimmy didn't get it. He didn't get it. No.
Try to explain what a wanker was to me. Hey, I mean... All right. Well, I mean, it's been a pleasure. I'm not sure whether I've been of any help at all, but I think
you've been an absolute.
You are lovable studs.
No, you are and you can join us as a lovable stud. You look very good with your new mane of hair.
These little twinkly eyes.
Oh no, they're good, aren't they?
What? Listen, good on you. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Lots of love and hugs. Happy Christmas. See you on the other side.
Bye, Jimmy.
Bye. Very good. Well done, Jimmy Carr. Thank you very much indeed for, I think, knocking us about a little bit. Really, I mean. The nice thing is actually, funny enough, that I think before working with you two, I'd have got really flummoxed by being called boring by Jimmy Carr. But now I get so much abuse from you and Curzon and anyone else who comes on the show. It's sort of like water off a duck's back. I think 2020 has given me resilience. Well done, Jimmy Carr. What a dude. And hopefully he'll come to Good and Bad Rugby Party at some point soon. That is it for our final mini show during the Autumn Nations Cup. No more rugby, as we said, for the international calendar, but you can still catch Amazon Prime's video coverage of the Premier League, including Liverpool against Tottenham on Wednesday, December the 16th. Tune into that if you like. It's also the place for the new Ben O'Barney documentary, as we said, Everybody's Game, and of course, the great Dan Leo and his Oceans Apart doc, which is well worth tuning into if you haven't seen it already. We did have a good catch up with Dan a couple of weeks ago, and if you haven't caught that on the main show, do go back and have a listen. Lots of questions. We're trying to find answers and help him in his quest for those. You can follow and subscribe to @Prime Video Sport on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok, if that is your thing. A reminder, this isn't the main podcast. You'll find that in the usual place on Wednesday morning as we discuss the state of the game, heading into and out of 2020. Get your entries in for the countdown. The winner will be announced on the main show next week. Thank you to James, to Mike. Well done to Jimmy Carr as well. Surviving and thriving. Congratulations to England, the Autumn Nations Cup champions. We'll see you for the main show on Wednesday with one of the winners, GBNR's very own Ellis Genge. Look after yourselves until then. Bye for now.